And and we're right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the House of Vibe podcast. Here with Daniel and
Jaron.
It's probably like, you're like, you didn't say we were gonna do this.
I'll play the part though. If you want to play the part, go 100%.
Jaron, that was a great start. Before we get into anything, because we never do this, let's get into our social media stuff. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram at House of I. You can find us on Bandcamp, at Spotify. And on both of those, you can hear our new single, Nothing Is Fine and Shame. You can also watch our music video, Shame, on YouTube, directed by this mofo right here. So check that out. But besides that, hello and welcome to the 64th episode of the podcast. Yeah, what's up, bro? What's going on? Talk to me, baby.
Well, I said a little bit earlier, but I had a bit of an existential crisis at work, so that's where I'm coming from with this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to channel that.
Who is it that you need to murder?
I need to murder my adult self.
I need to commit suicide.
And resurrect my younger self, my child.
Yeah. I think we all need to do a little bit of resurrecting our child selves, you know? What happened?
Nothing. Hours of nothing at
Literally
work.
nothing.
Felt useless. It was 8 hours of just thinking to myself,
what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the actual, like, can you name the place that you work and the address?
Yeah, I work at St.
No, I'm just kidding, dude. Don't do that.
Well, I don't give a fuck. You're gonna fire me for being honest, so they can fuck off.
Name your bosses and the people that you don't like.
Work at a college. Starts with St. Petersburg.
And it ends with college.
And I like my job. I don't want to give the impression I don't like my job. It's just sometimes I don't always feel needed, and that's not the college's fault. And, I think it's mostly has to do with the pandemic. So a lot of hours just waiting for students to come to me. And, most students want to do stuff online now. So it's like.
Yeah, it's more difficult, I'm assuming, to be doing things through Zoom or whatever, right?
It's actually better.
For you or in general?
The tutoring session goes better online because it's structured, it's timed.
Okay.
Sometimes students will hoard your time, like try and get you to stay with them for an hour rather than the normal 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay, so they're actually like trying to learn basically from you.
Yeah.
Rather
about
than
being
trying
timed.
to fuck around.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I would just assume that they would be fucking around the whole time, or, like not trying to do shit. But it's not. Is it paid? I don't remember.
My job?
No, not your. Do you get paid for what you do? No, are the students paying for this or?
Well, the tuition is the only thing they've contributed towards it, but I think this position wouldn't be here if it weren't for the tuition. So yeah.
Okay, so it's still considered public, like a public funding thing?
Yep. No students and no job, for sure. And I guess when the economy is really bad, everybody comes to college, and I have more hours, and I have more staff. So when there's more students, we get the funding we need. Everything's going smoothly.
When the economy's bad.
When the economy's bad, that's when people go to college.
Why?
Because they're trying to further their education, get that financial aid money.
I didn't even know. I didn't think of that. No.
That's just what I hear. I've heard it from a few sources in the college, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I'm just trusting them because they're in the college,
Right. Yeah, that's my job is not. It's not so taxing mentally. It's not even taxing. Well, I guess physically it's a little taxing, but it's not super taxing. It's just, it's more of I'm not necessarily doing exactly what I want to be doing, and that always, that kind of drives you a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten to the point now where I'm at a place at work where I'm not waking up every morning hating the fact that I have to go to work, which is good. It's a good place to be, but it's not the same as, I was talking to Ellie yesterday. I was, I was like, imagine if we just woke up and all we did was music. How, like, what kind of, like, that would be such a crazy life,
Yeah.
It seems like such a far-fetched dream to me.
I think people want to make it seem like a far-fetched dream, or I don't know. A lot of times it's framed as one, but I don't know. You just gotta bust your ass to do it, probably.
Yeah, I think so in certain cases. I do think there is a lot of people that do things like that, like the crate challenge thing, just for viral, just to be viral.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start like a career off of that.
Oh yeah, you get popped off.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that this is like where becoming something has gone to now, And it's not the case for everybody, obviously. There's certain situations where people end up building a following just from their music and whatnot, but I feel like it's a lot harder nowadays with like technology and all that stuff. It's just it's not like it was back in the day where it was like, oh, you just had to have like a really good sound and be a dope band, and you got fucking signed. Someone would take a shot in the dark and hope that you would sell albums.
I bet it was pretty hard back then too.
Yeah. How many bands existed back then? Especially like in the '60s.
Yeah, all the ones that didn't make it
right.
get signed.
You never hear about those fucking bands.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Actually, I think if I remember correctly, I've heard, or rather, I feel like I've heard that a lot of like music agents used to play in bands, and then they ended up just like, oh, I know I have like the connections and stuff like that. My band never made it, so I can kind of like do this as a job, still get paid, still in the music field, and bring bands along and kind of do that thing. So it's kind of interesting.
That's fair. If you're content with that decision, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think I would be,
I just don't want to wake up and feel anxiety about my job. And that's where I'm at right now. And I think this morning I woke up and I had some anxiety about coming into work. And I don't really know what it's about and what it is. I don't know. I'm just coming to terms with it.
Sounds like you don't want to be there.
Part of me doesn't. And then a part of me really does, because I've put so much time into it, and I do enjoy it when I'm actually tutoring. And I don't know. We'll see how it all goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for both of us, it's like ultimately there's a goal in mind, and in the meantime, we're doing this other thing.
I think your goal is more defined than mine, for sure. Like you have I don't know. I admire both you and Ellie in that you both have like a very specific thing you want to do, and you have the courage to say what it is and to actually pursue it. I don't know if I'm like always there. It's like sometimes I'm like scared to admit that I want to like make music a bigger part of my life because of all the people who I grew up with saying like, don't do that. Don't,
Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Yeah. That's I grew up with that too. Well, we both have, obviously, and it's like you kind of have to. Well, okay, so without naming any names, it's like you talk to certain people that are of age, older, whatever, and you tell them what they're doing, or tell them what you're doing rather, and they always go, "I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have tried." I regret not trying, not giving it a harder go at it. And I do believe that is what separates the people that make it from the people that don't. I think there is a lot of luck in it, obviously, but I think a lot of it has to do with keep going at, keep doing it, keep going at it, don't let yourself get burned out, which I can see that happening. I mean, honestly, it makes so much sense. I mean, as has happened with us, for example, with people leaving the band and stuff, they just, decide like there's something else that they feel is more, maybe not necessarily more important. Well, no, definitely more important. Definitely, yeah, more important.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that they need to tackle first or
Priorities
whatever.
change
Yeah.
for sure.
So, as one of as Kenny, our former guitar player, has said, this is a marathon. It's not a race, and I think that is true. Ironically, he's not part of the band anymore, but
He got off the marathon.
yeah, he was like, "Fuck this marathon is tiring."
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I do believe that, and at the end of the day, I don't want to, I guess we can get into this now, but I've been having a lot of like anxiety around not like debilitating anxiety, but I've been having little bits of anxiety about death. Like I feel like at any point I could die.
What started it?
My life.
Just from the
fucking
day
life.
I opened my eyes.
I think that having a lot of people die in my family has kind of put that in my head, but as I've gotten older, you kind of realize how precious life is and how, literally at any point you could die. So it's like, you don't like, especially with the shit that's going on, like with the pandemic, it's like, dude, anything could fucking happen. It's not the first big pandemic either, right? There's the Black Plague and all that stuff, like things that, the Spanish flu, all that shit was arguably worse, I guess. But still, we're living in this time right now. We're living in this period. It's present for us. It's happening right now, and I only know I can only like refer to what's going on right now. So it's obviously in my head, but yeah, it's I have this like sensation that I'm gonna die soon.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's a weird thing, but I just feel.
Well,
like
you had
that.
some health issues recently, and I feel like that probably didn't help things too, huh?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to, I got my results from my scan. For those of you that, I haven't really talked about this at all, but I had a workplace injury, and basically they thought it was a hernia. Turns out, totally was.
It was.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's not a huge,
Okay.
it's
All
not
right.
they said it's very small, like, so let's say it's super small.
Did you see like a picture of it?
No, I didn't. No, I just saw the report, like the actual letters from the report or whatever.
Okay.
Like, whatever, the fucking words from the report.
I guess picture isn't the right word. Like, I just wonder if they did like a, what's it called?
I did a CT scan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not intestinal, which is good. It's fat, apparently. Yeah. Ellie laughed at that. Fat. It's fat that protruded, which is even worse. It's more embarrassing, like fucking fat. Now, it would be kind of cool if my intestines blew through my, abdominal.
Blew through my asshole.
Yeah, it blew through my fucking ass, but instead it was fucking fat.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
It's just like, not only like, not only am I like, I might need surgery, but you're a fucking fat ass, bro.
Oh my
like
God.
it's your fat.
That's not what that means.
I know, but it just sounds funny. It's like fat. It's not intestines. It's fat.
But no more pain anymore.
No, I'm not in pain at all.
Okay.
No, I've been playing basketball. I've been, doing some core exercises and stuff like that. I was going to physical therapy, so I feel fine. I honestly don't feel any different than I felt before I got hurt. But yeah, so now basically they're going to refer me to a surgeon, and then the surgeon, she said that depending on, the size of it, she said that it could be so small to the surgeon that he wouldn't even do surgery on it. He would just let it go. But they might say that I might need surgery. So I have no idea.
Okay.
So we'll see. So I'm supposed to be getting that call soon. Ellie's looking up photos on the online right now. But
Is it ultrasound? Is that what I was trying to think of?
yeah, I think you were thinking of ultrasound. Yeah,
Okay.
Well, a CT gives you images.
a CT
Okay.
gives you images.
And it's sliced into a lot of.
This is why I should have had a fucking microphone, dude.
Well, say what I'm saying though.
What'd you say? Say it again.
A CT gives you images.
A CT gives you images, is what Ellie's saying.
It's sliced.
It's sliced like a pizza,
like a loaf of bread.
like a loaf of bread, rather.
And it gives you a full picture.
and it gives you a full picture.
It's gonna be funny if you could actually hear her voice through there too.
Yeah, I actually really hope that they
It's
can.
just like a really fast echo.
And they're just like, wow, this guy is stupid. We can hear you. We can hear her, by the way. So you could have used the audio from the fucking road, honestly, from the actual video camera too. Technically, give it a kiss.
Well, we get rid of this, actually.
Yeah, we do. But anyway, so yeah.
So you're good though.
Yeah, I feel fine. It's more of like, I think I'm just getting to a point in my life where I'm starting to, I don't know, I guess, I just, if I died right now, not that I wouldn't have regrets per se. It would be more of like, I want to do certain things before I die. And I'm obviously not there yet. So it's like, you know, that's kind of scary for me.
You know what idea I resent
Mm-hmm.
that was like instilled in me from older people in my life is that there's a prime age,
Okay.
and then everything past that you're wilting. That shit fucks me up, and I think about it, and I think I'm right there with you. Like in this time of my life, when I do think about death, it's like, fuck, okay, I'm approaching something eventually. And you know, it's probably funny for older viewers or like older people that listen to this kind of conversation from 20 somethings, but it's like still it's valid.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah,
Right,
we're
like,
like
you
approaching
fucking-
the prime age,
Right.
and then starting to wilt.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude, if you're over 35 and you're listening to this, you might as well be dead.
you're old as fuck, bro.
I'm just kidding.
Old as fuck.
I'm totally
I don't know what to tell
fucking
ya.
kidding.
We feel like we're dying. I don't know how you're feeling. You must be
You're
dead, dude.
dead already, so I don't even give a shit about you.
Just kidding, bro.
No, I'm totally
We're
kidding.
friends.
Yeah. Oh shit! No, I'm totally kidding.
I actually felt it more when I was a kid. I feel like I feel it less now. When I was a kid, I used to think about it like every fucking night.
About dying?
Yeah, the just inevitable mystery, and you know, didn't know when it was gonna happen.
Did you have like, I guess, like, were you kind of like scared of like what is it gonna be, like what is it gonna feel like, what's gonna happen kind of thing?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the body thing, it freaks me out still to think of like my body decomposing and bugs like getting under my skin and shit.
Really?
Yeah, but it also is like happy because I've like taken so much of the earth, so it's nice to be able to give it back at least for like the end.
For sure.
But
That's so interesting that you think about it like
yeah,
like you think about your remains afterwards. Like I'm just thinking about like the experience going into death, you know? Like
yeah. But you don't come from religion, do you?
I do. Yeah,
Oh, you do?
I was raised Catholic. I went to
Okay.
Catholic high school.
But you're not religious now?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I wonder if any of that lingers, and that's why you think of like the afterlife.
I think, sure, right? Because like I feel like there's cultures out there that when people die, it's not necessarily such a sad thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a celebration, right? And we're kind of raised in a way where we have to behave really well to get into heaven, and I don't believe in that. And you know, I'm not atheist per se, but I'm agnostic.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what happens. So that's kind of like, it's also like the fear of like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like in cultures where people just believe that, you know, death is not the last stop for people, I feel like it's a little easier on them because they can kind of go like, well, I'm gonna do something else that's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for us, or for me rather, it's I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be nothing. I don't know if it's gonna be heaven or hell or something I can't even fathom. But just like the not knowing. And the crazy
Yeah.
part is that everyone listening, you and I, Ellie, we're all gonna die one day.
Relatable content.
Yeah. We're all gonna go through this experience one day. And that's fucking wild to think.
Yeah.
You know? One day we will be like, and maybe it'd be nice to think that we all get to an age where we can look back on our lives and be proud of what we've done and be happy and
Even welcome it. Just
well,
like,
yeah, welcome your death, you know,
Yeah.
be like I've done like I'm tired of life, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Not in a morbid way either, or like anything
No.
bad. It's just I'm done.
I'm good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've I've said all I've had to say. I've done all I've had to do, and it's a crazy thought that you know that's gonna happen unless you die early, which is what scares me. But but that's great. Like I think about that often, like just being like on a, you know, my grandma who passed away, like she lived to very old, like I think in her late her almost 90, I think, yeah. And she was relatively cognizant for the most part. I mean, not necessarily. She had Alzheimer's, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that like she kind of went out in a way where I feel like it wasn't super like sad. It was more of like I've lived my life and like this is just the next chapter, you know what I mean? So it's just wild, like that could happen, you know? You could die very quickly obviously or something, but it's kind of wild to think that like that day is coming at some point, you know?
If you like, do you think there's fear with it because like you haven't released the thing or said the thing or done the thing that you feel like you're here to do yet?
I feel like I haven't lived.
Whoa, shit. It's a sign.
God, yeah, it's a sign from God that I don't know if they exist or not. No, it's more of like I want to do so much. Like I want to travel, and someone might say, "Well, you should travel. Go travel now." Like Jordan actually has said this to me. He's like, "I'm taking advantage. I'm not waiting till like my band goes to play, for example." But I love traveling. I think it's cool, but I also want to I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I want to get to a place in my life where I don't have a day job. I'm just doing music. I want to see how that feels.
Yeah. I'm hoping that when it happens, you'll feel the peace.
I hope so.
And
That's what scares
like
me
fulfilled. Too. Yeah, once you're there, like for 7 years, I went for this job that I just told you I have an existential crisis about, and when I finally got it, I started having existential crisis. Like,
right.
God damn it! Like I've been planning this for 7 years, and I thought this was what I wanted, but I'm not saying that'll happen with music. I kind of doubt it will actually because it's like so in tune with like who you are as a person. But yeah, I like talking about death. I don't know why, but like when you said the other day you wanted to talk about death in the podcast, I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like all been said before, I think it's just like I don't know. It's like a really fun curiosity. And
I like hearing other people talk about these kind of things because it really does make you feel like, oh shit, like I'm not the only person that thinks of this like this shit. You know what I mean? Not obviously. I feel like so many people have these thoughts, have said this probably for thousands of years or whatever. But to hear it like now, it's like, oh fuck, I'm not the only crazy, you know, or rather, I'm just not the only person that thinks of this. And it's
shared humanity is nice.
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel better. It definitely makes me feel better.
It like grounds you too, when like your ego might be up in the clouds or whatever. You think about death for a second though, or like you start to dwell on it at nighttime. It'll put you right back on the ground.
Yeah.
No ego. Just.
That's another thing too. Is like I feel like I almost live in an unhealthy way of like understanding that concept. Like I wish I was more unaware of that fact, and yet I'm super aware of it. And I feel like it like forces me to live in a way where every day means a lot to me, you know, like almost unhealthily, you know what I mean? Like it kind of, it could drive someone crazy, I would imagine, but like, yeah, it's, I guess it makes like, it's good for like being productive, but it's not good for me, being, what? Oh yeah. Not good for your mental health. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I can't like take a break and be like satisfied. You know what I mean?
That's one thing I've noticed with you. I feel like I worry that you're real hard on yourself, one, and then also like always going.
Yeah.
Like it definitely, I feel like I've seen many people like it catch up to them, and you know, wouldn't want that to happen to you in like a bad way.
No.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Hey.
At least I'm pretty sure we're back. No, we should be good. But yeah, so death.
Yeah, so camera went out, and we were talking about death.
I think we concluded that we're all gonna die at some point.
I think so. Evidence shows that we die.
Yeah. But I guess in conclusion, it's more. Ellie just got back. In conclusion, I probably need to go therapy. I think, to be honest. And
I think everyone should go to therapy at least
Yeah.
once. Just try that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, I did it actually in high school.
Yeah.
When because it was yeah, I'll say this. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna get in trouble for this. So it was the first time that I got high off of weed,
Mhm.
right? And actually, it wasn't the first time. It was like the third or fourth time, and I had like I just had like a panic attack for the first time in my life, right? And I don't know if have I ever said this on the podcast. I don't think so, right? And I didn't know what it was, so it freaked me out. And obviously, I didn't want to tell my parents or anything like that because I've been smoking weed or whatever. And I went through like a 4-month period of like just horrible anxiety, probably an 8 every day for like 3 months.
Damn.
Yeah, and
8
I didn't
out
know
of 10.
I didn't know what was happening to me. Like I thought I was going crazy because I never felt that sensation before, and every day felt like I was living in a dream, basically. So I talked to I finally like told my parents. I was like, I feel like I haven't felt normal in like a long time, and I went to therapy, and the therapy helped a lot actually. Like it kind of put things in perspective, talking to this person and basically saying you can't allow this feeling to control your life because that's actually how it makes it worse. Like for example, at the time Kenny had invited me to join him and his family in Orlando to go to Universal Studios, and I didn't want to go because I was afraid that I was going to have a panic attack.
Fuck.
And she was telling me, she was like, don't do that, go.
Yeah.
Like if you don't go, you're just allowing this to control your life.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, so I did, and I'm glad I went, obviously, and then it's been under control for the most part. Now it's like the anxiety is more tangible now. It's not
Abstract.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like me, afraid of things that could happen or things that aren't happening or whatever. So yeah.
Therapy. I had a similar situation growing up where I had like a long stretch of time where I was going through shit like that. Not panic attacks, but definitely like anxiety and like trouble breathing. I don't know if therapy helped it, but I did I just think one day I just like had a deep breath, and that deep breath I just let it all go,
Really?
Yeah.
How
It's-
are, like nowadays, how is that for you? Like how's
Anxiety?
your mental? No, just like your mental health nowadays.
I think I have I know I have depression, and it's like it's like always there, and it's like a wave. I either like go and like follow or I just ignore,
Right.
It just happens randomly, and then it's like a really familiar feeling now, so it's like I feel like I just recognize it for what it is. But sometimes those valleys are low, so I just, in those moments I got to tell myself to go to therapy rather than sulk.
Right. What do you usually do to, I guess, like come out of it or whatever?
Depends on how defeatist I am. Like sometimes, usually I just have a good talk with Jessica, and Jessica will, tell me her perspective and listen and be a good partner. And sometimes she does that. She does everything right, but like I'm just so stubbornly sad that I won't let it go.
Right.
I'm just like, fuck this shit. No, I just want, like I was like that as a kid with my mom. I just wouldn't trust her when she said things were gonna be all right because I thought it was bullshit.
Right.
So I thought like people talked to kids and like fed them bullshit.
Damn, you were like a pessimist, bro.
I was, dude. Yeah, I still am sometimes, and it sucks when I'm like depressed and also pessimistic.
Yeah.
Because like, it's a vicious cycle. It doesn't like stop if I'm like that. So
I haven't seen that from you.
I don't. Yeah, like the other day when I learned about my aunt dying, I had a good, I had a bad night, and I was glad I left because you would have saw me like that. Like I was just went
You're
downhill. Started like thinking about things I didn't need to think about. You know.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Like in a moment like that too, it's like this obviously the situation that happened and stuff like that. It's I could I could see myself going down that hole too, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I don't think it's a bad thing to necessarily like you should let that go, obviously, but like don't, you know, I would say like it's better to voice that opinion than to hold it in and kind of bottle it up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I usually do. I usually voice whatever is bothering me to the person that bothered me, or, you know. If I got something sick inside, I'll tell someone that I got something sick inside.
Right.
You know, I won't just hold it in. It's just what I do after that I need to work on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Because sometimes I'll do it and then I'll get even worse. It'll just like keep going where it doesn't need to, you know?
do you hold grudges?
No, I don't. But that, like, there's a Buddhist idea that like you can get shot once with an arrow, and like
You fucking kill that motherfucker that got
no,
you.
it's like you get shot by the experience, but then you could fixate on the experience and it's like a second shot.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah.
it's better to just get shot and see it for what it is and take the arrow out rather than like
Right.
fixate on you getting shot. And like I try and keep that in mind when someone like wrongs me or like some shit happens.
That's a good way of thinking of things for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like try not to take things personally, and I feel like as I've gotten older too, I've understood people better, you know, like with certain relationships I have and whatnot, you kind of like learn what to expect from people and what not to expect from people.
Yeah.
And as like fucked up as that might sound, it's just the reality. It's just the reality of having a relationship with somebody. It's like you have to, in order for yourself to not get hurt, you have to put people in boxes of like expectations. You get what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Maybe someone might tell me, no, that's crazy. You shouldn't do that at all. You should just kind of not really, I don't know, expect things from anybody. But I have expectations for my family, my siblings. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if they don't meet those expectations, I'm gonna be fucking pissed off, and I'm gonna say something about it. You know what I mean?
There's fair expectations for sure, and then unfair ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've learned to be better at that. You know?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. It's tough. It was tough, like growing up, learning that. It was definitely like some battles, but
Mm-hmm.
once you learn it, you're like, oh, okay. Things. If I don't have this because of my misunderstanding of this relationship or whatever, then things are smooth now. Once like things are understood, kind of, and not that there's any love lost, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm being very vague right now.
Well, that's fine. I feel like it's still relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, we should talk. She's like, okay, we're done. If you want, just go inside. Go inside. I'll wrap it up.
This is 30 plus, this is almost an hour.
I know, but we do have a few things that, yeah, I'm gonna go into them now. So, no, because I am interested though about this. So we just played our, I guess, first show back at Hooch and Hive,
Yep.
and Kenny, our former guitar player, was in town. So he came to see that, which I thought was really cool. I'm glad that he was here to see it.
Yeah,
The
it was
show
sick.
the show was fucking awesome. It was
was a
so
good
much
time.
fun.
Mhm.
You know,
His him.
viewers like you,
Yeah.
fucking both been on the podcast, for example. It doesn't matter, but yeah, it was a really awesome show. I had a great time. It was so nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to get your perspective on the whole night, and also like there is a little bit of added pressure. You know?
with Kenny there.
Yeah.
Because I took over with his guitar and played all his parts in front of him.
And
So-
sang a song.
and sang his song. So I was actually sweating more in that gig than I've sweat in all of our gigs, and I think it was Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just buckets of sweat when I was playing Ignorance. It was disgusting.
Were you actually nervous?
I was. Yeah, I was.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it was like I think I just respect him, and like I don't want anything to come off weird
Yeah.
or like I'm not respecting his songs or his
Yeah.
vision. You know, it kind of feels like when I go into a band like this and there's songs and already like an old concept developed, like I gotta respect it. You
Yeah.
know, I can't go in and like fucking doodle on the guitar while you're
Right.
doing a part. You know, or fuck up his lyrics in any way. Well, I don't want to, at least,
Right.
especially when he's watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll say, like, that makes me like you so much because it's like
Yeah.
you care, you know, and that's super nice. And
That's good.
You know, he's never gonna listen to this. So I don't give a shit. But he was emotional. He like told us that he got emotional and stuff, which was really cute.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he was
Look at that.
teary eyed and stuff.
It must
and-
be a surreal experience to like see your songs performed
yeah.
from the outside after being inside for so many years.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I can't imagine that, to be honest, because I don't see that ever happening.
It
to
wouldn't
be-
happen to you.
Yeah, I
think.
don't
Yeah.
ever see that happening with me. So, that would be so. Yeah, I can I could see that being super surreal and like also cool in a way too, because like you're kind of hearing back like the thing that you created just being done by someone else, but like.
Yeah.
But it's funny because that whole situation with him, and like he's doing really well, by the way. I'm super happy for him and super proud of him and all that stuff. Like there's no ill will. And there's by the way, there's no ill will towards Emmett either, you know, like
Yeah.
it's more of like I miss them both and I wish that they would still be a part of this,
Yeah.
but it's not like I'm not like fuck you, man, you know. It's
No.
more of like damn, bro, I wish you were still here.
I
kinda
miss you.
thing.
More
Yeah,
like
I
that.
miss you, bro.
Yeah,
Like this was
yeah.
nice, you know.
It was cool to see him.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, he I could tell like with him, he definitely wants to be a part of this as much as possible, you know. And that's a nice feeling, you know. And Kenny, if you're listening to this, sorry, bro, but like it doesn't mean anything. Sorry. I love you, but you know, you have to commit completely to something like this, you know, if you're gonna be performing and stuff, and it's just the reality of it. It's like, you know, the truth and the reality is like what you're bringing to the table right now is exactly what we needed. We needed someone like you to come in and bring this kind of passion, this kind of care, you know, this kind of focus towards it. You know, and I'm like super duper excited for the shit that we're gonna be putting out and whatnot. Like the new song that we're working on, I can't wait to get that shit done and learned, which is cool. I mean, think about it, like we, you know, in reference to how long it would take us typically to write a song, this is relatively quick. This is like how Serge and I work together. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I've wanted with Kenny. It just never happened. Unfortunately,
circumstances or
yeah,
whatever.
we were just, you know, he was doing school stuff, I was doing school stuff, you know, it just never worked out that way. But the fact that like we're writing together is awesome to me. I like, this is
Yeah.
exactly what I've wanted. I've wanted this for so long, and it's starting to happen now. I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like I'm finally having like the collaborative kind of you know, the collaborative creativity that I've been wanting for a while, you know.
Yeah, it's a whole other feeling when you get creative with another person, and like, I don't know, sharing the responsibility of making something is so unique.
Yeah, it really is.
It's weird. You gotta like learn to let go of some things and then let them shine for a little while, and you know,
Yeah.
learn what they're good at, what you're good at.
Which is like, for example, like just the song that we're working on is kind of like what we've like, that was like kind of our first like go at that.
Yeah.
And I felt like so far, at least, because we're not, you know, we haven't practiced it much or anything or even learned it, but technically we kind of have like a rough draft of like the structure. And I think so far I'm like, yeah, we just turned a riff into a full song. You know, well, you came with the verse and the chorus, but I don't remember actually. Was that middle part written already? That
was missing. Yeah.
Okay.
That was missing.
That part was tight. That's a good like transition point between everything.
New shit coming.
Yeah, new shit coming, guys. Searching for a cure. Look out. But no, it's dope, man, and I'm super excited, and we have our my boy Serge playing on bass for us right now.
Yeah, that's been cool too.
Yeah, it's been nice. That's another thing too, like not to rehash the death thing, but like it's also weird because I'm going through such a like good period in my life, where things are going so well, technically speaking. Like there's really nothing
after a year of like death for you.
Yeah, 2 years of
2
that.
years of death in the family, and now you got this really good year.
Yes, right. So you're just like almost like waiting for something bad to happen again.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's just the reality. It's like it felt like a dream for a minute there. I felt like I was going through a fucking dream. Just like, how the fuck does this keep happening? So that the fact that like things are going so well, and like we've got this nice studio and stuff like that. Like, yeah, dude, there's nothing to complain about. It's just like keep fucking going. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah. So to wrap that up, that was a fun show, man. I loved it. Fucking great peeps. Everybody was fun. You played fantastic. The show sounded fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, it was fun.
Don't have anything booked.
Yeah, we're just gonna take it easy for a little while and record some stuff and do some more podcasts with people. And
we'll bring that up. So the next podcast we have is next week, and I actually don't know where we're gonna release this. Hopefully we will release this next week, but we are recording a podcast with a group from Austin, Texas. They're called the Lewd Dudes. So check them out if you guys are still listening. We're going to have them on, and very excited about that because they're from Austin. It'll be the first time I talk to a band from Austin.
Yeah, sick.
And they're performing... Where the fuck are they performing? Are they performing at New World?
I'm pretty sure that's where they invited us to perform with them. Yeah.
I think it is New World.
New World.
Yeah. But anyways, for those of you that are listening from the area, just look up the Lewd Dudes. And they're coming to Tampa, so check that shit out. And thank you guys for listening. Hopefully we didn't get too morbid on you, but this is these are the kind of conversations I want to have on the solo
More
podcast.
Death.
No.
Every podcast from now on is just death.
Yeah, we're just only death, bro. We're just gonna bring people in here to kill them in front of you.
We should rename the podcast and shit.
Just death by flying colors. That's an old song of mine.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys for listening. And if you haven't subscribed yet, fucking subscribe, bro. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Peace. Later.